Have you figured out your niche? Are you helping adding value to other people's lives? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi.
Greetings from Chicagoland. Welcome to Munira's Musings. I'm Munira, your host.
Munira Zahabi, the Niche Navigator, is a niche strategist. She is an international author, speaker, and influencer. She is an entrepreneur from Chicago, Illinois. Through her business, she has influenced many people to navigate their niche. She passionately believes that all people have a niche, but are afraid to explore the deep, dark waters within themselves and take a voyage through the raging waters within to find it. Munira's mission is to integrate the concept of nicheology, businessology, and confidenceology. She's also been a co-author of a number of books. She is the Ish, Journeys of Womanhood, Life is a Gift, Calling All Earth Angels and Healers, Heartfelt Business Lessons, Tips for Your Success, Conversations with Top Real Estate Investors. Let's welcome to the platform, Munira Zahabi.
I'm going to start this episode by asking you a question. Have you ever thought about all the body parts we have? Have you taken inventory of them? There's so many parts that we don't know about because they're hidden in our body. One of the things that we have hidden is our lymph nodes. And our guest today is going to talk about lymph nodes and why they're important to us and what we should do to take care of them. Welcome to our episode, Hillary Goodin. She's here from all the way from Chicagoland. She lives in the same city as I do, and it's a chance that we met. So welcome to my show, Hillary.
Thank you, Munira, for having me on. I'm so appreciative of being here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a retired CFO, Chief Financial Officer of a behavioral health center here in Chicago. And I retired in 2019 so that, I was just ready to do something different. And this is what I'm doing. I promote vibrant life by activating and maintaining a healthy lymphatic system. And so, I'm just excited to tell people about what they can do to help their bodies to be in position to heal itself. And I work with women leaders, well, maybe not just all women leaders, but women over 40 who are looking for strategies to transform their emotional and physical health while reducing stress.
So, lymphatic system is, am I right, with lymph nodes, right?
The lymph nodes are a part of the lymphatic system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'm curious to find out, one, you were a CEO of a behavioral center, and then you gave up your job to teach women how to be vibrant. How is there a connection from with lymph nodes?
Okay, so basically, just to explain the lymphatic system, the main thing to know is that it is a major part of your immune system. And the lymphatic system helps to cleanse all the other systems of the body. Your digestive, your nervous, your cardiovascular, they all depend on the lymphatic system to help cleanse them of any buildup of cellular waste that gets trapped. When that cellular waste gets trapped, it's been given names such as cancer and different types of tumors and arthritis, glaucoma, different autoimmune conditions. And so it's a buildup which we call inflammation. That's at the base of almost any condition that there is inflammation. And that's a sign that most likely your lymphatic system is not working properly.
Wow. So how did you go? I mean, so you ran a center. I'm just trying to make the connection. You
I
ran
know,
a
right?
center. How did you learn about lymphatic system? I mean, that's all biology, right?
Yeah. So I was the chief financial officer of the center, and
Okay.
yeah, so I was an accountant, and I had a chronic cough. I developed a chronic cough over the years. And it seems like the more I got into higher levels of management, because I started off as a line staff person, just a staff accountant, and I worked my way into being the chief financial officer. And there was just more and more and more and more responsibilities, and just so much that was going on that I realized this cough. I initially thought, oh, I have this cough anytime that I eat dairy. So I'm going to suffer through this cough because I like my dairy. But then I
Okay.
began to realize that it wasn't because of what I would eat. This cough would be triggered when I would get into anxious moments. And, while I was starting to have anxiety attacks, and that coughing was a sign of it. And I was trying to find out what can I do to have the victory over this cough. And so I started going to the doctor and trying to find out, what can we do? And the doctor, she really didn't help me. And so I finally asked her, what can I do that's natural? Is there something I can do that's natural? The look on my doctor's face, I'll never forget the look on her face that day. I understand it now, but I did not understand it at the time. And she looked at me and she shoved her hand into her white coat and she snatched out an inhaler, her inhaler. And she said, you are going to fill those prescriptions and just use this inhaler for the rest of your life, just like I do. And she shoved it back in her pocket and she stormed out of the little room there. And I was left thinking, okay, are we done? Is she coming back? And I asked the nurse, is she coming back? She said, she's in with another patient. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess she's done with me today. And I think I'm done also. I tore up those prescriptions and then I just started on the journey of trying to find out what can I do that's natural. It doesn't involve pharmaceuticals. For me, this is the journey that I began. And I came across so many different holistic things that you can do. And I ended up with a friend on on the job, a coworker who had bought a NutriBullet. I don't get paid by NutriBullet, but it changed my life. She bought a NutriBullet and she would come in because she was, in the gardening and herbs and all of that stuff. So we always would talk around those topics. So she came to me, she said, man, I bought this thing and I fixed this concoction and it's supposed to be good for this. And she come the next day, I fixed this concoction, it's supposed to be good for that. So then I just had to go out and get one because I wanted to find out what can I put together for this cough. And so that's what started it, the fact that I had this chronic cough and I just needed to know it's got to be a way to do something about it that didn't involve me just taking it, using the inhaler for the rest of my life or taking pills for the rest of my life. I came across a YouTube video, a guy being interviewed who said that he had been given up for his doctor told him, listen, there's nothing we can do for you. There's nothing more we can do for you. You need to go home and get your affairs in order. He said that he met a man who told him, I know somebody that can help you. Put him in contact. That man told him, listen, I can help you, but you're going to have to do everything I tell you to do. He said, what do I have to lose? The doctors won't even see me anymore. So the first thing that he told him that I thought was so interesting, Munira, was that you have to forgive anybody any stuff that you're holding on, any unforgiveness that you're holding on to, you have got to let it go. And I've found over the years dealing with people that sometimes is the thing that will help their health to turn around when they finally will decide to let it go for real. And so once he did that, he kept talking. Then he started getting into nutrition and different things. But then he said, he taught me about the lymphatic system. And he had a trampoline there. And he got up and he started bouncing on his mini trampoline. I was thinking, what is this? And that led me to start searching about the lymphatic system and what is it about this bouncing. So I followed that guy that he talked to, and then I followed the guy that he learned from. I found him, and he was the one that came up with this formula of how the lymphatic system works in conjunction with the blood system. And it was something that he found out that the medical field thought does not happen. And he was able to prove that it actually does happen. And he started the International Academy of Lymphology, and that's where I became certified.
This is a very interesting journey. So the first thing to do is to forgive.
Yeah, I wrote a book, and my book is called "You Got the Power: 7 Ways to Transform Your Health and Peace." And you can find it on my website, hillarygoodin.com. But in my book, I start out talking about you got the power to transform your health by the words you speak and the thoughts you think. You got the power to transform your health by how you love and forgive. These are mindset issues. These are things, trauma, past stuff that can get embedded in your cells and
So
cause you to be sick. And the kind of sickness, I talk to people all the time who say, well, I went to the doctor and they didn't find anything. And they said, maybe it's just in my head. Maybe it's in your heart. Maybe you need to forgive somebody. You have to dig even deeper. Find out what is it really that's going on with you.
which brings me to my next question is,
Yeah.
how do you remember what the things you've done and how do you forgive those people?
Well, sometimes, like I talked to, I did a workshop. After the workshop, I was talking about in that workshop how to deal with stress, and being able to forgive was one of the things that I talked about. And after that workshop, one of the ladies, she came up and she says, that is so true. When she came up at the end to let everybody know what I was saying was true. She said, that is so true, because she had an autoimmune condition that she had had for years. She said, and I just wasn't getting any better. And I just, was just sick and was just tired and just all of these symptoms. She said, and at some point, it just occurred to me, or I'm not sure how it came to her, but she had unforgiveness for her father. She said, he's been in prison all my life. Even when I was a little girl, I'd never really seen my dad. He's been in prison. She said, and I hated him for that. And I held all of this stuff in against him. And I just decided one day, I gotta let that go. I can't change it. There's nothing I can do to change it. And maybe that's what's making me sick. I don't know. And she said she really decided that day to forgive him. To forgive him and to let it go. And that was when her health started turning around. She no longer has that autoimmune condition. And another lady was able to confirm the same thing. So I know that sometimes it may be something that they may come to you. I'm a pastor also, and I do pray for those that are willing to receive prayer, because sometimes that may help to bring up from your memory bank, to release something that you didn't realize is the thing that's been holding you captive.
This is a very interesting, something that's in our body. So why do you think that forgiveness has such a big part in our lymphatic system? The lymph nodes, I know they're here, some of them, and then we have some in our arms. I'm not exactly sure of the biology. Do you know where they are in our body?
Yes. So you have your lymph nodes are along the way of your lymphatic vessels. You have lymph nodes that come down through this area, from your face to your neck. You have lymph nodes that are in your chest cavity. You have lymph nodes in your stomach area, in your armpits, and then you have in your groin area, you have lymph nodes, and then you have lymph nodes that are down like around your knees and down around your ankles. And so the lymphatics, one of the things that I thought is so amazing is that we know how the blood flows away from the heart and back to the heart. The lymphatic fluid, there's lymphatic fluid that needs to be pumped throughout the body. It pumps in one direction. It only pumps upward. That's why it's so important to move our bodies. We've become so sedentary that you have more and more people that are dealing with all type of conditions. You know, like they have one thing I heard on the radio, and they were talking about the sitting disease. And they had a pill that you can take for that. They don't need a pill, they need to get up and move their bodies. You know, we're meant to move. And so movement helps to helps the check is what's called like check valves that are along the lymphatic vessels. And what happens as you move your body, walking or jumping or even doing proper breathing, it helps those check valves to open. When those check valves open, it allows the fluid to come up through the body the way it's intended. But if you're just sitting all the time, over extended period of time, you know, you sit at work, you sit in your car going back home, you sit on the couch after you get home, you know what I mean? When you're not moving, those check valves are not opening so that lymph fluid can flow just as well as the blood flowing through the body. And that can cause stagnation. That stagnation causes is what we know as inflammation. That inflammation can cause pain, lack of energy, brain fog, not being able to think clearly, lack of sleep, not being able to get good night's sleep, and it can compromise your immunity as well. And so during this time, we're all concerned about our immune system being strong, so that we don't get sick with this COVID that's going around, you know. And then also the other thing that's so amazing is that it helps to build up and boost your vitality. It makes you feel young at heart. I just love that.
Wow. Who knew, right? This is a system that nobody talks about. Everybody talks about the respiratory system and the digestive system, the circulatory system, but nobody talks about the lymphatic system because it's a system that we cannot see and everybody forgets about. But this is really interesting. So what three, you already mentioned it, but to recap, what three things do you think people should do to get their digestive juices, the lymphatic juices flowing, if you will?
First thing, they need to move. They really need to move their bodies, and even when you're just walking will help to move your body, move your lymphatic system. The best way to move it is bouncing on a mini trampoline, because at the bottom of the bounce, those check valves open. Okay, and that's just a whole nother thing. And I know your show is short, so bouncing on a mini trampoline and then breathing. Proper breathing and breathing exercises are an excellent way to also help to activate your lymphatic system. So I have I have a program that I'm offering right now, and it's called Breathe Your Way to a Healthier You. Anybody interested can connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook at Hillary Goodin.
Okay, so how do people find you, Hillary?
Yeah, well, they can connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook at Hillary Goodin, or they can email me at hillarygoodin@sbcglobal.net. hillarygoodin@sbcglobal.net.
And
and then my website is hillarygoodin.com.
No, that's wonderful. So you said, to recap, we all need a vibrant life. We all need to be young at heart and happy. One way to do this is to cleanse our lymphatic system. And three ways that she explained to us was: one, forgive people, keep moving, and then she said use the mini trampoline. Now that's going to be something that she's going to show in her talk or whatever program she's holding. But she can be found at Hillary Goodin at sbcglobal.net. She also has a book, You Have the Power.
No,
So
it's not you have the power, it's you got the power.
you've got the power. I'm sorry,
got
you've
the power.
got the power. So now that's very, very interesting because it's not have, it's got. You've got it,
Yeah,
and you
you
just
got
have
it.
to figure out where this power is lying within you. So we all are looking, for years people have been looking for the key to being young, the key to living forever. Well, that there's no such key. But one thing I'm going to tell you is there's a lot of pain in the world. And partly we are in pain because we don't move around, we don't let our juices flow. And this is one way to let another system in our body to flow. And if you are one of those people who are in pain, let's try this traditional way of moving to get our lymphatic system flowing. And if you're holding a grudge, let's get you to start forgiving, because a long time ago I met a friend who says she has a forgiving journal. She writes everything down, she thinks about the past, and she goes down and she writes everything down. At the end of the year, she doesn't save the journal, she burns it. But by doing that, she's taken it out of her system, put it on a piece of paper, and she's literally burned it. And forgiveness is a big thing.
Yes.
It's a very big thing. One way our leaders tell us to do it is, if you really need forgiveness, then you need to seek out the person that you're forgiving from, and to ask them, can you forgive me for this, this, and this? Because sometimes we are ashamed to even ask for forgiveness because we've thought about some things, or we've said some things about people behind their backs, and we really don't want them to know. But if we really ask for forgiveness in the true manner, then we will feel better. It's a weight taken off our shoulders, because there's a lot of weight we carry around. So if you are interested in her program, go seek out Hillary Goodin. This is our episode, and the thing with these episodes is that we have to close at a certain time. But if you'd like more information on this, Hillary is going to put it in the Facebook group. And if you'd like to know more, go ahead and contact her. And if you'd like to hear more from her specificity, go ahead and let us know, and we'll bring her back and we'll talk about how this is going to work for you and me. And if you'd like to be a show on Munira's Musings, and you have a healing or some kind of a power, this is her superpower. If you have some kind of a superpower, a niche that you've stepped into, go ahead and let us know, because that's the interesting part, and that's what we share our show about. So welcome to Munira's Musings. We'll see you with another guest next week. And special guest, a special thanks to Hillary for being here so early. Thank you,
Thank you for
everybody.
listening to this episode of
Have a good
Munira's
week.
Musings with your
Bye.
host, Munira Zahabi. If you enjoyed our show, please share and subscribe to this channel. And for more content, please join our Facebook group.